Apple expanding its universe. You know, they've got the new iPhone, they've got Apple Pay, and of course that much hyped smartphone. Now, it's been 3 years and Tim Cook has finally had a chance to unveil, if you will, a new product under his watch, no pun intended. Moreover, he's had a chance to use that familiar line. One more time. All right, Jordan, did Apple and Tim Cook live up to the hype today?
Absolutely. I mean, it was all Apple Watch, as I see it. Everyone stood up on their feet, applauded for him. I think that's the biggest game changer coming out of today.
Here's the interesting thing. Okay, I watched it with the stock market. Okay, you were up most of the time. It was sort of waffly. When they mentioned the wallet, the payment system, the stock spiked. It was over $3. Yep. Then it started to fade a little bit. And when he mentioned the watch, the stock spiked. Can we say that those are the two things people are most excited about?
Biggest takeaways, absolutely. It wasn't just an incremental upgrade. It was a brand new platform that was introduced in both cases.
But we'll figure out later, they'll tell the world later how they're going to make money on it, because there's some confusion about, hey, who are your partners in this thing? How will you make money on it? What will it cost? There's still a whole lot of question marks after this whole big event.
Absolutely, and they have to bring on partners. I mean, that's going to be the trick. And also with the watch, what's the battery life? That's the big question. How long is this thing going to last?
Yeah. All right, Matt, so we did get the line, right? One more thing. So can we say Tim Cook is finally out of Steve Jobs' shadow?
He's peeking out of the shadow. You know, if I had to grade him today, I'd give him about a B+. I think it was very, a great presentation. The watch doesn't do it for me. Very, very high price point. Doesn't come out till January.
After the holiday season. $20,000 watch. But go ahead.
After the holiday season. I tell you what changed me, and I own Apple, what makes me love Apple even more is the Apple Pay. That is going to change the way that we pay for everything. Imagine having your cards on your phone like that. And you know what they are? They're the middleman. They get the VIG. So what happens is it's still Visa who goes through it, but they're taking a couple pennies every time you're doing that. They're in a perfect situation right now with Apple Pay.
Tracy, I got to go to you on this one. Do we trust them after all this iCloud mess just a week ago to actually conduct our business, so to speak?
Well, we found out it wasn't the iCloud that was hacked. It was all these hot chicks and people wanted pictures of them. So they could have been hacking anything to get those pictures at that point. I mean, so I think the iCloud somewhat is in the clear for that. And do you trust? I mean, Charles, do you trust anything at this point? You know, I bank online. I do my tax return online. Do I trust?
I guess I'm a dinosaur. I got like $3 grand in my pocket, and I only use debit cards in an emergency. Go ahead, Dani.
Well, the millennials are the ones that really give it all up, right? They don't mind about giving any information out to the internet, to whoever wants it. But I do think that, you know, the iPay piece is really going to help Samsung and all of the other Androids that have had this for years. But
they've had it. How come the public didn't clamor for it?
But now they will. I think now that they all have it. I think that now that they all have it, it's going to make it a lot more ubiquitous. I think people are going to use it a lot more. But again, it's the generations that are a little bit earlier.
I could just think of all these people that had MP3 players before, you know, the iPod, and you never heard from them again.
Using that with iTunes as well. But I want to go back to the iWatch just really quickly. You know, we didn't talk about Mark Newsom. They just hired Mark Newsom. He is the most important industrial designer that's out there right now. That's like hiring Jeff Koons to come over and design his product.
Really cool, even though I'm not a Jeff Koons fan. Hey, guys, but that watch is beautiful. I want to stop right now. Let's blow the whistle, open up the first page from Payne's investment playbook. Now, I'm not sure Apple is still the coolest tech company in the world anymore. Maybe they are. But I do know one thing. We are entering a very exciting time, and Apple is just a cog in that wheel. I'm talking stuff like smartwatches, smart clothes, all part of that whole connected wearable space. Look how much it's going to grow, 52% compounded annually for as far as the eye can see. Then there's stuff like the smart chopsticks, right? The chopsticks will measure the oils and the nutrients in the food as you're eating them. I mean, it's really cool stuff. I just hope you can handle the truth. I can't. I'm going to turn mine off. All right. And also, Tracy, I got to learn how to use them first. And then this is all part of what we call the Internet of Things. 50 billion connected devices all talking to each other. It's being called M2M, machine to machine. And I want to go back to, listen, here's the thing. We talk all the time. Internet of Things, driverless cars, robots, 3D printing. There's a lot of excitement behind this stuff. So, Jordan, I want you to walk us through. Let's just fast forward. It's September 9th, 2020. How will my morning look?
Well, you'll have some sort of device that's going to live on your arm, or at that point, it can also be implanted in you. So we're talking something even crazier. But again, it's going to be able to speak to every single attribute of your body. So all those biometrics are being stored somewhere, and they're being pushed somewhere, and they're being smarted out. They're being analyzed either by some sort of AI system, and they're being sent somewhere.
Artificial intelligence.
Exactly. Some sort of AI system to kind of catalog all this data and make sense of it all. So, for example, you might be able to, you know, start your car from inside, warm it up, get it ready, go in, and it'll tell you, you know, how long until you get to work. and have something waiting for you at work. You can coordinate everything right from your device, use your voice to activate it. There's a number of different things you'll be able to do in the future with
I love it. I think that's kind of cool. Will it have an automated list on excuses for being late?
It'll send the excuses out for you. It'll be smart enough to know enough about you where it'll have its own
In a
persona.
perfect world, it'll make my kids lunch and drive them to school too.
Absolutely,
But we
why
also
not? Yeah.
said we would be on the moon and vacationing there by now too. And what happened there?
Well, I mean, again, we'll have to see where we are in 10, 15 years. We have to see also how quickly this stuff gets adopted. Also, the big change moving forward in the future is going to be VR, which is virtual reality. A lot of simulations, so your office environment might not be coming to work anymore. It might be actually putting on a pair of the Oculus Rift or whatever that is in the future and seeing.
I'm a huge fan of Oculus
I
Rift, but
love
I got to
that.
tell you something. And the guy who, the kid who put it together in his garage, I think that might be counterproductive. I really think people are going to throw their headset on, like work from home, and you tell me you've got the. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be a good combination.
I mean, I think already that whole idea of virtual reality is something that people have been living in for some time. I mean, things like Second Life.
Is that a false
etc.
reality or a virtual
It's
reality?
well, both.
Can you imagine though being on set and not sitting in GW traffic anymore? Like, holy Toledo.
But just from the retail side and the perspective, I feel like people are really going to gravitate around this too. I mean, this is like, and we're talking about a big data dump here. Everyone, the more connected you are and the more devices are talking to each other, the more retailers will have that data that will be able to sell products to you a little bit better.
You could be watching right now and click on Matt's socks.
Yes, absolutely.
And also,
And purchase them.
Yeah, and also it's going to actually do those purchases for you. So a lot of these devices, they only go to a certain extent. They won't take you to the next point where it can make those purchases.
I think
So
the
it still
Internet
requires
of
you to do
Things
something.
is the Internet of Things is changing retail for the better.
So we're all excited about this. Everyone's all giddy. So I've got to ask you, Matt, because I got to tell you something. I remember the same giddiness, that brave new world back in 1999, 2000. Technology was sizzling. I couldn't keep up with the companies and the acronyms, and every day was going to change the world. To Tracy's point, we're not on Mars, but we have taken a few bumps in the road since then.
We have, but how many of those companies that struggled for over those years that you've recommended recently in the last couple of months that have come back? So I think we hit a couple of bumps in the road, but we've also...
There was some hellified bumps.
We've
I mean,
also
people
reached...
lost a lot of money.
I agree, but they weren't making money. There's a lot of companies out there now that are in automation and robotics that are making money, that are large companies. I'm more excited about the fact of, it sounds boring, but factories that are run by everything. There's no human beings there anymore.
Right.
I know you hate this because you're out of work, but that's going to...
Like the stock market.
Production's going to be, yes, exactly. They're flooring New York Stock Exchange.
All right, guys. Hey, Jordan, thanks a lot for being here, man. You really shed a lot of light on this stuff. We really appreciate it. Thanks again.
Thank you.